Neon White is a game where speed is the main objective. The game requires you to speedrun through levels to achieve the fastest time you can get. It utilizes platforming as well as an FPS system that is rather unique. While speed is the game's main objective, you don't have to go at a breakneck pace to finish the game. Developed by Angel Matrix, a collective that so far has just made this game, and published by Annapurna Interactive. The game was released on the 16th of June 2022, and the last update was the 14th of July 2022. Pricing for the respective platforms is seen on screen. In Neon White, you play as, well, Neon White. Neons are humans who have passed from the Earth's realm and were not good enough to go straight into heaven. You are given an option to kill demons in a tournament alongside 99 other Neons in a similar situation. The tournament's winner has a chance to secure a spot in heaven. 3 different characters make themselves known near the beginning. Each one has their own distinct personality and mask. Neon Yellow is a buff bro. He has a goat-like mask. Neon Violet is a scene girl with an insatiable desire for blood and guts. She has a bunny mask. Neon Red is a flirtatious but determined woman. She has a fox-like mask. They act extremely friendly to Neon White, but there's one problem. After being brought to this realm, he seems to have suffered from amnesia. In the beginning, Neon White felt extremely arrogant and somewhat had cringy dialogue, primarily due to not remembering anything or anyone, but also being headstrong and trying to win the tournament. One small complaint I will have with the dialogue is with a character that you meet later on. White is able to understand this character, but as a player the text and voice is both distorted. Personally, I don't understand this, as White just relays what they say back to the player in his own voice. I feel it would be better if the voice was more of an understandable distortion, otherwise it feels off when White is able to understand it but the player can't. Gameplay is where it shines the most. The fluidity of the movement and other mechanics help this even more. The main mechanic for each level is to run through it as fast as possible while killing every demon you see. You can be hit 3 times before dying, but you can pick up more health if it's on the level. For the end finish line to be active, you must eliminate every demon on the level. Killing all the demons can be achieved by either using your melee attack or picking up cards called soul cards. These cards are your main offense when killing demons. Each has a unique color and secondary ability, as well as its own bullet count, or durability if it's a melee weapon. Once the bullet count reaches 0, the card will be destroyed. However, as said, almost every card has a unique ability. You can use this ability as long as 1 bullet is left. Using the ability will destroy the card, so it's best to use it when you've nearly run out of ammunition. One card you can get from the beginning is the pistol card. This card typically gives you 9 bullets, but if you were to use its ability Elevate, you will also be able to double, triple, quadruple jump, all depending on how many cards you've stacked up. Another one you get relatively fast is the machine gun called Purify. This gun typically has 35 bullets and its secondary ability fires a grenade akin to a sticky grenade. This grenade can be used in pretty cool ways. The primary usage is to destroy red coloured obstacles in your way, otherwise it is used like a rocket jump. Another gameplay enhancing mechanic is when you run on water. This makes your speed drastically increase. This gives a twist on the shortest distance to the finish is not always the fastest. For example, I played a level repeatedly trying to get top 100. Spoiler alert, I didn't get top 100. While doing it over and over, I noticed how barely hitting the water before falling gave me a faster time, while I was able to finish at the top 450s. After beating a level, you are given a medal. This is based off your time. There are bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. There is also a secret medal that's reserved for beating the dev's time. Getting gold medals will increase your neon ranking in the tournament and allow you to carry on through the main story. At the end of a chapter, you must meet a threshold before you can progress to the next chapter. This system is rather lenient in design, so you don't need to get gold in every level. Since the game revolves around speed, you can expect to see a leaderboard after each level. This will show you where you place globally or against friends, and with the release of version 1.01, it is also possible to edit a file so you can never upload your time, if you wish. When you beat a level, you also get a thing called Insight. This allows a few things to happen, the most important one being gifts. Once you reach Insight 1, gifts will start showing on the map. These gifts can be given to Neons and Angels at the main hub. You'll be able to access the main hub after you finish the first chapter. This will allow you to interact with Neons alongside Angels. Each of the 3 Neons I mentioned prior and 2 other Angels have their preferred gift. Giving each of them their gifts will provide some dialogue, as well as submissions, items, and your memories back. These items can be stored in your room in the main hub. 3 Neons mentioned prior have their own submissions. Violet submissions are a case that you must complete at all costs. Yellow's missions have the mechanic that you cannot use the ability and can only shoot bullets. Red's missions rely on traversing the level utilizing the abilities. Each of these missions don't require you to kill all the demons and don't have a leaderboard. Their only objective is to get to the end. Regarding the demons, each one has their own unique trait. Some have a unique attack pattern, others will drop a soul card. One of my personal favourites is the balloon demon. When you collide with this demon, the demon will pop and cause you to go upward. These can be chained together if close enough to cause an elevator effect. None of the demons from my experience felt extremely unfair and were nicely balanced. In fact, I found them to complement each other a lot of the time. As for replayability, that solely depends on your attitude towards speedrunning. If you want to get all the secret medals, become top 1000 globally in a level, or to beat your friend's time, then I'd say there's a ton of replayability here. Otherwise, there's a thing called level rush that you unlock after beating the game. These are speedruns depending on the character's path you pick. The 3 neons mentioned prior will go through their submissions. White's path focuses on the main chapters, and one I will not spoil does a fun twist on White's path. Each level rush has a heaven and hell mode. Heaven mode focuses on completing with no compromises, while in hell mode you've only got one life. For context, my PC specs are on the screen. I've been playing at 144p, 144 Hz and high settings. Overall, this game ran phenomenally. I never once noticed any frames dropping, and you quickly notice that when you're trying to beat the level as fast as possible. As well as the game running buttery smooth from my experience, I can't recall any bugs from my playthrough. That doesn't necessarily mean there's any bugs out there, but from my experience they're beyond uncommon even when speeding around the level. The game also takes up 5.5 GB on my drive as of writing. If you're unsure if your PC can handle it, here are their Steam recommended specs. If you're not sure what any of this really means, or don't know how to compare it to your own specs, then you can check out the website game-debate.com. Once there, you can enter your specs from a drop down and it should tell you how your PC is and if there's any weak points. The link of this will be in the description. For settings in the game on PC, it is rather bare bones. There is 4 tabs: General, Control, Audio, and Video. General only has a field of view slider and an option to change the language. Controls have 2 sections. One is for mouse and keyboard and the other is for controllers. There is also a rebind key section here, which is always nice to see. The audio section has sliders for all you really need. And finally, video. Compared to other titles, this seems rather lacking when you first see it, but it does the job well. The textures don't seem super demanding, at least from a gameplay perspective, and the models, while pleasing to look at, don't have a ton of polygons. One complaint or feedback I would have would be more options for accessibility. A few examples would be a colorblind option, or maybe even a slider or defined drop down box to increase the font size. Another example could be a GUI option that could show where an enemy projectile is coming from. Visually, I think the game is great. From an FPS and speedrunning aspect, most of the structures are uniform in colour. This allows important elements to stand out like demons or wooden obstacles. When you're in a dialogue, the game takes a more 2D character approach, giving it a visual novel style. Character designs for the neons are relatively tame, but I still like them, especially the accented colour correlations to their name. The angels have a unique quirk that is explained in the story. I'll refrain from speaking too much about them, Even still, they suit the game and it gives it a refreshing albeit surreal feeling. From a level design, I found it somewhat easy to not know exactly where to go at the beginning. Once I found out where to go, I could quickly restart the level and finish in at least gold medal time, but this could be just very much a personal experience and you might not experience the same. At no point did I feel one level was extremely similar to another. Most of these levels seem to follow a linear progression through them. That is, until you start thinking outside the box. Some levels it would seem you go from the start to the finish, but when seeing where the enemy placement layout is, you start cutting corners, literally, and improve your time. With the insight of each level, you can also get an orange hand that will appear. This hand will show you shortcuts in the level that the developer has placed. As for the GUI in the 3D sections, I personally like the design choice. White's portrait in the bottom left corner with text to his right. To his left you can see 3 heart shapes, that is representing your health. Top left shows how many demons are left before you can complete the level, and the bottom right is reserved for how many soul cards you pick up. These soul cards are simplistic in design, that is no way a negative thing. The music in this game, in my opinion, is absolutely phenomenal. The music was done by an artist called Machine Girl. I've not heard their work up till now, and if they produced anything that is like the OST in this game, I'll be adding it to my playlist instantly. I'm not too well versed in music genres, but after talking to a friend about it, they mentioned it's in a breakcore / hyperpop style. With how fast paced the music is, it complements the gameplay beyond measure. Here's one of my personal favourite songs from the game called The World to Come.
Heaven is a trip.
It reminds me how in Doom Eternal, the music fits ripping and tearing through the demons. But to complain about the music, there'd only be one thing, and that is that there's not enough of it. I don't expect 50 soundtracks, but when you're playing through a specific chapter, you typically have one song played at a time. While that is my one complaint, it's not a deal breaker, as the OST doesn't really get repetitive from my experience. For the sound effects, they're good. There's nothing that stood out of place with them. The weapons sound good, the abilities have a nice build up if there's an explosion. The jumping with the pistol ability gives a nice swooshing effect. Most enemies have a very similar sounding attack, except those that have a unique threat to the player. Each character also has their own voice acting. White has kind of an edgy voice to him when saying some lines, but overall is good.
I actually don't remember.
Yellow has a more bro sounding voice, for lack of better description,
Yo, White, bro! It's me! Yellow!
but this still fits his character personality. Violet sounds cutesy and is sociopathic.
You'd protect me if it came back, though.
Red has a seductive / teasing voice, but is also caring in some sections.
Can't believe God himself decided to bless me with the thing I love most. A completely clueless boy.
All in all, I'll put this game as one of the greatest games of this year personally. Combinations of all the aspects make this an absolute gem of a game. The gameplay was super fun with neat mechanics, the OST and sound design make every action feel more impactful and exhilarating, and the visuals have a very charming feel while also being visually pleasing to look at. I'd highly recommend it if you're wondering if you should pick this game up. This game is currently available on Steam and Nintendo Switch. If you don't have a Switch, but a desktop or an oldish laptop, you should be able to play it as it's not too demanding. But don't take my word for it entirely. As mentioned before, look at Game Debate to give a rough estimation if your system is up to spec. If you like this game, I'd recommend looking at Speedrunners from Hell. Gameplay is more or less the same, trying to beat levels as fast as you can. Difference being instead of weapons and enemies, it's more obstacle based. You also have different magical abilities like shooting an arc based teleportation, or being able to inverse gravity. The setting being in hell and the music being more of a metal genre. That's all for this video. What are your thoughts on the game? Anything you would disagree with or have any questions on? I'd love to hear them in the comments. I'd also like to thank you if you made it this far in the video. I hope you found it informative, enjoyable, or hopefully both. Being my first review, there's a whole heap of things I'll most likely need to work on. Any constructive feedback will be greatly appreciated. With that being said, I hope to see you soon.